Hello again. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, and today we're going to be talking about using Google Apps for Business, aliases, and filters for using multiple email addresses. Now, this is important in the professional world, and it's one of those things that doesn't get seen a lot by IT professionals, but it's one of those little logistics things that can make life a lot easier. So as you guys know, if you ever contact me, I have a zillion different emails, right? I have giveaway@elithecomputerguy.com, I have geekbraindump.com email addresses, FAQ@geekbraindump.com, all kinds of different email addresses. Now, the reason that I do that is because if you have all emails for everything coming to one email account, the problem is what happens if your organization grows, right? How do you easily start sending the emails to a different person? So let's say I actually hire somebody and they're dedicated to doing the giveaway. Now, if I have all the emails coming just to my email account, you all send it to eli@elithecomputerguy.com, then it's going to be very, very difficult when a new person comes in and that is their task to deal with, to be able to send the emails their way. I would actually have to manually forward them, and it would be a complete pain in the butt. So what's really nice is if you can go and you can create numerous different email addresses for different specific tasks in your organization that need to get done. Sales@elithecomputerguy.com, questions@elithecomputerguy.com, giveaways@elithecomputerguy.com, so on and so forth. So they can all come to me in the beginning, and then if the organization grows and that becomes somebody else's responsibility, if I have a dedicated email address, then I can just point that to somebody else in the future. Now, in order to do this, there are two different ways. The first way you can create multiple email addresses is to actually create multiple different email accounts within Gmail. The problem is that costs you $5 to $10 a month per account. So FAQ@geekbraindump.com would cost me $5, and questions@elithecomputerguy.com would cost me $5, and so on and so forth. So the other thing that you can do to make life easier is to simply create what are called aliases for your email address. So all of these, emails now that go to FAQ@geekbraindump.com then get redirected to Eli@elithecomputerguy.com. Giveaway@elithecomputerguy.com gets redirected to Eli@elithecomputerguy.com. Why this is important, because that means in the future, again, if I want to designate that email address for somebody else, I can just point that to somebody else in the future, and life gets a lot easier. Then the question comes. So that's what aliases is. Basically, aliases means that you create different email accounts that all dump into the same email box. But then you're looking at it and you're like, Eli, if all those emails are getting dumped into one email box, that's got to create a mess, man, right? So, I just did a giveaway for Eli the Computer Guy, and I got 105 emails within about 30 minutes. Yay, I'm popular, right? So if I had 105 giveaway emails all get dumped directly into my inbox just for the giveaways, that would make a mess of my inbox. So what you can do within Gmail is you can create filters, and what filters will do is basically it creates a rule that if certain criteria are met for emails coming in, that they will automatically be moved into a specific folder. So what I have done is giveaway@elithecomputerguy is an alias for Eli@elithecomputerguy.com. Then I created a filter, so when messages come in to giveaway@elithecomputerguy.com, they automatically get dumped into the giveaway folder. So therefore, I can have multiple email addresses, plus keep my inbox relatively clean, and it's just a nice, easy tool. This is one of those things, I'm telling you, it sounds cheesy. Yes, it's not Active Directory, it's not LVM, it's not any kind of complicated stuff, but if you show this kind of thing to your CEO or to the secretaries, to the administrative personnel in your company, this is the kind of little stupid task that will make them very, very, very happy. So let's go over to the computer so I can kind of show you what's going on. This is one of those things, dirt simple, but incredibly useful in the real world. So this is the admin page for my account. So this is where I run Eli the Computer Guys LLC stuff out of. You can obviously see users, company profile, billing, all that kind of stuff. So in order to create the alias, all we need to do is we need to go over to users. So basically you get to this by going to admin.google.com. If you have a business Google Apps account, this will show up as long as you have access to it. And then what you want to do is you want to go to users. So then you click on users and it will pull up the different users you have. So with me, I have Eli Etherton, obviously, and FAQ@geekbraindump. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on myself. This will then bring up my account with my normal information. So what we're then going to do is we're going to come up here to the account link, and this is what we want to click on. When we come up with the account link, then from the side, we see this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down and we're going to look for the aliases section. So we can now see in the aliases section, I have question@EliTheComputerGuy.com, giveaway at EliTheComputerGuy.com, account at GeekBrainDump.com, post at EliTheComputerGuy.com, reviews at GeekBrainDump.com, Tony at EliTheComputerGuy. So all of these different emails, if anybody sends to any one of these emails, that will go directly into Eli at EliTheComputerGuy.com. Now all you need to do to add a specific alias is you do add an alias, and then you just plug it in. So I can just do Bob at EliTheComputerGuy.com, and then all I do is I do save changes down here, and now that is an alias. So I'm going to remove this. But right now, if somebody emailed Bob at EliTheComputerGuy.com, that would automatically get redirected to Eli at EliTheComputerGuy.com. See how that works? So that's really, really nice and easy. So you can create all of these different email addresses, and you can also do things like create disposable email addresses. So, let's say you want to sign up for a forum, or you want to sign up for something, but you're not sure if the bastards are going to spam you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you're worried? You're like, oh, I want to sign up for GeekBrainDump.com, but I'm worried GeekBrainDump is going to spam me. So what you can do is you can do GeekBrainDump at your domain name.com, use that as the email address, use that, and then if I start spamming you or somebody starts spamming, then you can just remove it and then it becomes a defunct email address. So this is also, basically you can use this for both administrative purposes, being able to send people to specific email addresses for specific tasks, or you can do it, like I say, to create disposable email addresses. It's very, very nice and easy that way. So once you have done that, that's all you need to do the aliases. And again, make sure to go down and do the save changes. And then once you've done that, you need to go over to your email box. So this is my email box over for Eli the Computer Guy. You can see all my little emails here. Nothing too secret. I don't think anybody cares about with that. So what you want to do is you want to go over here to this little cog for settings. And then what you want to do is you want to scroll down. You do not want to do configure inbox. I swear every time I open this up, I always click configure inbox. And configure inbox is not what you want. What you want is settings. You want to go down to settings to create the filter. So when we go to settings, that gives you, all the different settings for the account. And what we want to do is we want to go over to filters. And so for the filters, what we can see is I have already created one. So matches to giveaway at EliTheComputerGuy.com. Do this, skip inbox, apply label 00-giveaway. So if we go in and we want to edit this, we can just take a look. So basically filter, so you can do from or whatever else, but what I've done is to. So anybody sending an email to giveaway at EliTheComputerGuy.com and nothing else in here, what we do is we go over to continue. Then what we want to do is skip the inbox, so archive it. So basically with Gmail, what you have to remember is archive, all archive does is kind of get it out of the inbox. So that's what you want to do. So you want to get it out of the inbox because Gmail has a really tedious way of kind of like multiplying your emails, like dumping it in a lot of different places. So what we do is we apply the label 00-giveaway. So this is basically dumping it into the folder. Now if I did not check off this skip the inbox, what would happen is you would see it both in the inbox and in the giveaway folder, which is just a complete pain in the butt. So that's why you want to do skip the inbox. You can do other stuff here. You can do categorize or whatever, and then you can click update filter, and that's all there is for the filter. So you can do lots and lots of different filters. Filters, again, are a great thing for dealing with your email, and all you have to do in order to create the filters, you go create a new filter here, click, and then again, you can do emails from specific people, emails to specific addresses, things with subject in the line, or has the words. I use this sometimes for certain things. Like if a email has specific words, I want it dumped somewhere. Doesn't have whatever else, has an attachment, don't include chat, size is greater, whatever else, has the words, let's say Bob. Then we go over, create the filter with this search, and then we would say, you know, skip the inbox, mark as read, star it, apply a certain label. You can forward it to different email addresses. You can delete it automatically, never send it to spam, always mark it as unimportant, categorize it, so on and so forth. So that's what you've got with filters. And so this, again, is one of those just incredibly valuable, useful skills for the real world. You guys are all worried about Cisco, software-defined networking and all this kind of stuff. If you go in and you teach the administrative staff at your company how to use aliases and filters on their Gmail, they are going to love you. And remember, if your management and leadership loves you, they are going to promote you and give you more money and give you more responsibility and give you more servers. So in a weird kind of way, using Gmail can get you more real servers. True. But that's what I use it for. Like I say, I find it to be very useful, especially now that I'm doing more and more with Eli the Computer Guy. You know, like I say, it's just great. So I can create that giveaway at elithecomputerguy.com. All the emails come in, and the greatest thing in the world by doing it this way is as soon as I want to stop doing giveaways, let's say I'm like, I'm done with giveaways, I can simply remove that alias, and then all those emails will bounce, right? If I give everybody my personal email address and they're emailing it, then even when I'm done doing something, they're still going to be able to email me. If I have that alias, I give you the alias. As soon as I'm done using the alias, I can hit remove. Don't have to worry about it. So again, logistically, you know, if you have a job, let's say you have a job vacancy, so you can create an alias for that job vacancy, have the resumes come in, and then once the job vacancy is filled, you just remove the alias, and then you don't have to worry about, you know, getting spammed with resumes, right? And again, things like going to forums, you know, creating email accounts for all these different services that you use. I don't know. I think it's cool all the way around. So that is using Gmail, aliases, and filters to be able to deal with your email box. Again, very, very cool thing. Definitely something I use in the real world. Is managing users and computers on Active Directory too cumbersome? Download SolarWinds' terrific trio of free Active Directory admin tools today and start saving time on those Active Directory management tasks. These free tools help you manage and remove computers and users from Active Directory and allow you to add users in bulk. The free tools include Inactive User Account Removal Tool, enables you to scan Active Directory and optionally remove users who have not logged in for a certain amount of time. Inactive Computer Account Removal Tool enables you to scan Active Directory and optionally remove computers that are over a certain number of days old. And User Import Tool saves time by giving you the ability to create users in bulk using a CSV file. You can even specify the attributes. Also be sure to check out SolarWinds' community page, thwack.com, to connect with more than 100,000 IT professionals. So take a look at solarwinds.com for their free and other tools. SchooleyMitchell.com. If you're trying to find better internet or telephone service, or if you're trying to find less expensive internet or telephone service, give Schooley Mitchell a call. Basically what these guys are telecom consultants. You call them, you say what you need for yourself or your client, and they figure out the best option. They'll examine your existing services and review your bills to make sure there are no errors. Then they'll keep an eye on your services moving forward so that everything remains optimized. Because Schooley Mitchell is objective and independent, they have no ties to vendors. You know they are always your best interests in mind. The best part is there is no fee for their services. The only cost is a portion of the shared savings over a set period of time. If they don't find savings, there is no cost to you. Schooley Mitchell. Plixer.com. Plixer deals with NetFlow analytics software. So NetFlow is a component of Cisco equipment that shows you what's going on at the network layer, what devices are talking to what other devices, what kind of network jitter, all of that kind of stuff. So Plixer has a free piece of software called Scrutinizer. Scrutinizer is a free NetFlow network traffic analysis tool. So if you want to play around with NetFlow, if you want to see what's going on with the network layer and you have Cisco equipment, take a look at Plixer.com. Click on the link below this video. It'll bring you to this page where you can download Scrutinizer, the free NetFlow network traffic analysis tool. Adaxes.com. If you're dealing with Active Directory on a large scale, so you have hundreds of users to add, hundreds of users to disable, so on and so forth, you may want to take a look at Adaxes.com. This is Active Directory management and automation software. So this tries to automate and simplify the Active Directory workflow. So if you are in a large scale Active Directory infrastructure, take a look at Adaxes.com. Altaro.com, Altaro.com, if you're dealing with virtualization in a Hyper-V environment. So we're talking about Windows Server 2008 R2, 2012, and 2012 R2. Take a look at Altaro.com. They have a number of Hyper-V backup solutions. They have the free version, which will back up to 2 VMs for free forever. They also have the unlimited version, starting at only $400 per host. I think this is a very good value. So if you are dealing with Hyper-V virtualization and you need a backup solution, take a look at Altaro.com. NerdsWeCanFixThat.com. If you're thinking about starting your own computer services company, but you don't want to have to worry about coming up with a logo and copyright and trademark and all of those kinds of things, you may think about buying into a computer services franchise system. Nerds We Can Fix That is a computer services franchise system. They have 62 franchises throughout the United States. They can franchise in every state other than Hawaii. They also franchise internationally. If you're thinking about starting your own computer services company, you should contact them, fill out the information below, or give them a call. Again, as I will say, franchise systems are great for a lot of people, not so good for others. Always make sure to do your due diligence, but if you're thinking about starting a computer services company anyway, you might as well contact Nerds We Can Fix That to see what they have to say. Veeam.com, Veeam.com. If you just virtualized 100 servers and now you're trying to figure out how to back them up, they have solutions for ESXi, they have solutions for Hyper-V, and as you guys like, they have free stuff. So if you are dealing with a virtualized environment and you're trying to figure out a backup solution, take a look at Veeam.com. Total Seminars, TotalSim.com. If you're looking for your A+, your Net+, your Security Plus certification, they have video training, practice test, exam vouchers, and more. If you are on the CompTIA track and you are looking for study prep material, study guides, that type of thing, take a look at Total Seminars, TotalSim.com, TotalSem.com. Spiceworks.com. These guys have the free network management software, the free mobile device management software, the free community with millions of users. So if you're an IT professional and you need support, Spiceworks is a great place to go. All of their stuff is basically free and just an absolutely great thing. Again, if you have any questions that I don't answer in the show that are technical in nature, you know, we're talking about Active Directory synchronization between sites in remote areas. If you click on the link below this video, that will take you to the Spiceworks community. They have millions of users there that will be able to help you out. So take a look at Spiceworks.com. So this is the hands-on review of the Logitech G19S gaming keyboard. And this is a very cool keyboard, even for the non-gamers, because I don't know if you can see it from there, but it's actually got a cool little screen directly on the keyboard to show you a lot of different things. So you can watch YouTube videos, you can watch movies that are stored on your hard drive, you can see CPU and resource usage. There's just all kinds of cool things with this Logitech gaming keyboard that make it cool even for non-gamers. So if you plug this thing into a server, or like with me, if I do video editing, I can plug this in, and right down there I can see all the stuff going on with my system, and you know, I don't have to worry about pulling up Task Manager or any of that kind of stuff. So let's go over to my little demonstration table so I can kind of show you what's going on with this guy, because it is cool. So Logitech, you know, sent me this thing, gave it to me, and it is just a this is an awesome keyboard. So over here, for all you gamers, you would know these are basically just programmable buttons. So you can program these buttons to do any kind of key combinations that you want to do. There's joystick stuff up here, you know, there's normal large keyboard. But what I really think takes the cake for this particular keyboard is this screen right here. So let me get a little closer so you can see. So with this screen, you're able to see a lot of different things. So when you turn it on, you can go here and you can see things like the clock if you want. So just basically a simple clock. You can have a countdown timer if you want. Again, okay, those are some stupid little cheesy things. But then some things you can do is like they have a movie viewer on here. So I can sit here and I can click which movie that I want to see and actually just start playing it and watch it directly on this little screen. See, look at that. That is so cool. So I can be doing something up on my main screen, doing some kind of very sophisticated task, and then have this little video playing down here, which I think is a really cool thing. Beyond that, we can go down, we can have a little picture viewer. They have an RSS reader, YouTube video player. So if you do the YouTube video player, you can scroll through different YouTube options. And then the other thing that I really like is this performance monitor. So with this little screen here, I can watch the CPU usage and the RAM usage. So again, this is very useful. If you're running a server that's going through resource-intensive tasks, or with me, like when I'm doing video editing, I can just sit here and I can see where the CPU is and I can see where the RAM is and I know what's going on. Or let's say you're dealing with a lot of virtual machines. That's a big problem now for all you guys playing around with the systems, is you boot up one virtual machine, then you boot up two virtual machines, and then you can sit here and you can see the resource usage to make sure you're not pegging out the CPU and you're not going to crash everything. So this is, I think, just what takes the cake with this nice little guy. Now basically this has a power cord, so you have to plug it in and then it connects onto your computer. Now the software for this does work for both Mac and Windows, but what I will say is the Mac side seems a little bit wonky. So what I'm showing you today is using a Windows computer to do this, because I did install everything for the Mac and certain things didn't seem to work well. But basically what you do is you plug this into your computer, you install the software onto your computer, and then all you have to do is go in and you get this page where you can do the configurations. So if you press this button here, you're able to go in and you can change how the function buttons work. Then if you go here, this shows you the screen and you can say what you want to be in the screen or not. So do you want the clock to be in the screen? Do you want the countdown timer to be in the screen? So on and so forth. And you can also come in here and do some basic configurations. So with the performance monitor, or let's say the movie viewer, we can come and we can click on the configure, and then we can say where we want it to pull videos from. So I think that's a really cool thing. Other than that, there's some other basic little configurations in here, but I just find it to be a really nice keyboard. Again, I've purchased a lot of Logitech products over the years, and I've always thought Logitech is a really good company. And this overall, I think is a really good product. Now, if we go over here, we can just take a look at the website, and you can go to logitech.com and take a look. I mean, I will say, it's a little steep in price, $199, but then again, you get your own little secondary screen on your keyboard. I think that's cool. I don't know. Whenever we talk about price, it gets so difficult. But I think for gamers out there, for serious gamers, you should take a look at this, because it does have a lot of functionality and seems to be a very, very nice keyboard. And I really do have to say, I like it a lot. Now, playing with this, again, there are a couple of quirks. I'm a little disappointed with Logitech, because again, most Logitech stuff is like rock solid. It's like, it does what it does. This is the one device that I found that there are some quirks to it. So again, like I say, in the Windows world, it seems to work basically perfectly. In the Mac world, just some of the configuration functions just didn't work for whatever reason. And the other thing I found, which is just to keep this in mind, is if you do want to play movies, so all my movies are MP4, you need to install the proper codecs onto your computer. Curiously enough. So it just acts as a different screen. So if you don't have the codecs on your computer, things won't play. So I downloaded and installed, the good old faithful Cool 2K in order to be able to watch videos. Again, that is just one of those things to keep in mind. And from Logitech's standpoint, I kind of don't understand, if they're going to offer this option, why they don't automatically install the codecs for you. You know what I'm saying? Because gamers, I know a lot of gamers can troubleshoot, but they're not necessarily that good at troubleshooting. You know what I'm saying? So it is kind of weird that it has the option without having the codecs installed. But otherwise, it's a very good build quality. Again, all Logitech is just, it's built well. It's plastic, but it's built well. It feels good. It's nice. It has a heavy weight, and the screen is good. The other thing with the screen is nice is you can pivot it back and forth. And, it's all got all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the only qualm with the Logitech G19S is the price, but if you're a gamer, you're dropping that money anyway. So there you go. Let's take a look at the Logitech G19S. Definitely a cool little keyboard. So this question comes from Joe L. I go to high school and they somehow were able to put all the students' user directories on a network drive. Yes, this is a pretty normal thing. The network drive acts like a hard drive. Everyone gets 2 gigs. How would I configure Active Directory to store all user directories on a file server? So this is a pretty easy thing, and this is a pretty common thing in the real world. So basically, all of your files and folders, everything in your My Documents directory, your browser history, all that kind of stuff, gets dumped into what is called your profile. So there's a lot of different places you can store profiles. So a lot of times profiles are actually stored on the local computer. So all of your documents and everything, when you hit save in the My Documents, it goes to the local computer. The problem is once you start dealing with a large network environment, this is a massive point of failure, because if every employee or every student is saving the files locally, and any one of those hard drives fails, then all that data is gone. Of course, you could then you say, well, you come up with some kind of backup regime. But having a backup regime for 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 computers, you don't want to do, right? So what you can do to make life easier for everybody is basically you can redirect your profile. So instead of being on the local computer, you can put it onto basically onto a file server, onto a Windows server, onto some other server. So everybody's profiles are stored on that one server. Then you can create a backup regime for that one server, and if anything fails, it's all nice and secure. So if the client computer fails, doesn't really matter, because the files and all that weren't stored on there anyway. And if the main file server fails, it's a pain in the ass, but you should have a backup regime and data recovery plan. So again, it's not that big a deal. It makes life a lot easier. So now that is very easy to do. With this guy, I'll put a link in the description down here. But basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be changing group policies. So group policies are what allow you to tweak what your users are able to do. Are they able to get to the control panel? What printers they're allowed to use, all that kind of stuff. Group policies, basically, whenever you want to control the user's environment, you'll use group policies. And so that's all you do. You go in and you modify the group policy in order to do that. And again, just the links below. The one thing I will say, where he was saying that everybody gets 2 gigs of storage on the file server, this is an important thing for you to think about. So if all the profiles are redirecting back to one main server, one of the issues that you're going to run into is what happens if somebody ends up trying to back up their entire iTunes library. Not only, if they're just storing it on their local computer, the worst thing that would happen is they screw up their local computer. But if they try to send a terabyte of data back to one file server, then they not only will have the potential to screw up their own account, but then that will use all of the storage on that server, and it screws up everybody else's user profiles. It's going to be an absolute mess. So that is one thing. If you're going to be doing this, is you want to institute what are called quotas. Quotas, again, are very easy to use. Basically just search Windows 2012 quota. You right click and you go and you put the quota. But basically what the quota does is it says nobody can store any more than this amount of data within their folder on this computer. 1 gig, 2 gigs, 10 gigs, a terabyte. Doesn't matter what size it is, but basically you can control that so that they don't take up the file server. Because I have seen that kind of thing happen before, where somebody plugs in their iPod with 100 gigs of music or whatever else, and that all of a sudden gets synced back to where their profile is, and that can be a complete mess. So it's just group policies and quota. Again, if you Google search Windows Server 2008, Windows Server 2012, quota or group policy, you'll have more than enough information. Very easy to set up, honestly. So this question comes from Umair R. Have to go through here. But basically, this guy started a YouTube channel and tech blog. He says, I'm a Muslim. My age is 23 and I live in Hong Kong, but my origins are from Pakistan. I have done over 78 videos at the time of this writing and have had a total of 16,300 views and 45 subscribers. The problem I'm facing is my beard. People make fun of me in the comments, and my videos are most watched in the following demographic: USA, UK, India, and Canada. Eli, my question is that see me as a case study. I'm fighting against discrimination. I'm keeping myself motivated. I receive more dislikes, but I'm still making videos. Question: should I give up on my YouTube channel and close the account, or should I continue making it, and how can I improve it? Well, here's the thing. I'm going to be blunt with you guys, because I'm always blunt with you guys. If you ask me, should I quit? The answer is always going to be yes. Guys, I am not a drill sergeant. I've dealt with a lot of drill sergeants. I've been under a drill sergeant. You know what drill sergeants do? Drill sergeants build you up to take that mountain. I'm not a drill sergeant. Never wanted to be a drill sergeant. If you ask me, should you quit? To me, that says yes, because if you were asking me whether or not you should quit, generally what that really means is that you're looking to save face and you're looking for a reason to quit. You've already decided that you want to quit, and you're just trying to find something that looks good. You know, I tried that, but Eli the computer guy said I should quit, so I quit. So if you're going to ask me, should you quit, I will always say yes. But let's get back to this and talk about this a little bit, because this is one of the issues that I see with a lot of people going out there and trying to create YouTube videos. And one of the things that you have to understand is YouTube videos, they're a form of entertainment. This is not like the technology world. You can be a mushroom in the technology world. You can be a troll in the technology world. Your armpits can stink in the technology world. You can have eyes, you know, all squirrely in the technology world, right? Because basically in the real technology world, if you're really good at what you do, there may be some forms of discrimination, right? You may not make as much money as you should, but you're still going to be doing really well, right? You know, a top programmer can make $150,000 a year rather easily. You know, the difference between a stinky programmer and a good-looking programmer might be $10,000 or $20,000 a year, which is significant, but it's not enough to gonna make you starve. But the issue is once you get into the YouTube world, this is a form of entertainment. Basically, people have to want to sit down and watch you and look at you for a length of time. Again, it's one of the things that I talk about when YouTubers come to me about how to be successful, is I will talk to them about how to be more successful. I won't talk to anybody about the first step of being successful, because I frankly don't know. I mean, the reason that I am successful, I have a deep voice. I have clear diction. One of the things I talk about, I have Asperger's, which means I always have to think about what I'm saying. And so since my entire life I've already thought about what I'm about to say, then for me to talk in front of a webcam really isn't that abnormal of a thing. But all of that I just said, I can't give to you. I can't train you. I can't put you through a boot camp and have that happen. That's all just kind of got to be there innately. So one of the things that you have to think about when you're going to be doing this is, do you have the presentation skills for whoever that you're going to be talking to? And you have to realize, again, in the YouTube world, this is an entertainment medium. Right? So that's the first thing. So one, you just have to ask yourself, do you honestly believe that you feel comfortable doing this? The next thing that you have to look at is you have to look at yourself honestly and see what that you can change or what can you modify to make it so that people will enjoy watching your content more. Like, how do you look? How do you talk? So this guy says, I have a beard. Are they really laughing at the beard, or are they laughing how you have the beard kempt, right? You know, do you have some bushy-ass weird beard going on, or do you have a well-kempt, nice-looking beard? When somebody looks at you, do you look like an elder state? Do you look like somebody who knows what they are talking about and can stroke their beard and say, well, when I was on the front lines of the dot-com boom, my boy, it was a brutal time? Or does it look like you're some teenager who wants to, you know, get into the bar and, you know, you got this weird, nasty little thing going on? So that's one of the things that you have to be thinking about. So, I mean, that's the issue. You know, when we talk about discrimination, I mean, you guys hear me say words like bigot and discrimination all the time. And again, in the normal technology world, this is a really harsh thing that we have to deal with. We have to get more women programmers. We have to get more minority programmers. We have to get more Muslim programmers. We do. I mean, this isn't even a question of morals or ethics. I mean, it's just basic common sense at this point. But again, programming, IT, servers, that is a different world than something like the YouTube medium where it is a form of entertainment. You know, you have to think about that. If people are insulting you and you're taking that personally on YouTube, then you have to question and ask yourself, how can you make yourself more presentable to the people that are watching? Because that is what you are offering is yourself. So if they don't want that, basically, the only questions you can ask yourself really is how can you modify yourself so that it is more presentable for those audiences, or whether or not you should be doing it. One of the other things that I would say, and just so you guys can think about, is again, we do have a very skewed worldview. So a lot with the internet and a lot of things, like with this guy, most of his views are USA, UK, and Canada. So if you really are, you know, a Muslim out of Pakistan, one of the things you can also just think about is focusing your niche, right? There's a lot of people in Pakistan. There's a lot of people in India, if you like them. There's a lot of people in Hong Kong and all that. You know, there's a huge proportion of the world that ain't white and Western. So one of the other things you can think about is, can you focus or can you package what you're saying to a demographic that might be more inclined to accept what you're saying? Again, you know, I know, having traveled through India for 4 months, backpacked through India, that Indians laugh at the way Americans do things, and Americans laugh at the way the Indians do things. And so maybe that's one of the things that you need to be thinking about. Maybe your worldview, maybe how you present yourself may not be taken well in the Western world, but in the Eastern world, it may be taken better. Maybe shift your demographics a little bit. So these are some of the things to think about. Again, when you go onto YouTube, you are... This is an entertainment medium. So basically, again, don't get me wrong. If you're a network engineer, if you're a programmer, if you're IT, any of that, and people are not treating you well simply because of bigotry, that is a horrible, evil, nasty thing that needs to be erased from the planet. This is YouTube, right? You know what I'm saying? When people go to watch entertainment, they want certain things. They want to see Brad Pitt. They want to see Angelina Jolie. They want, you know, and it's, yeah, I hope you get what I'm saying there. But yeah, those are some of the things to think about. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. Should you? Again, I will always say, if you guys ask me, should you quit? I will always say yes, because it's motivation. You have to be willing to get up every single day and just grind and do it. And that does not come externally. That does not come from anybody else. Even now, even after I've been doing these videos for so long, people kind of still laugh at me for doing it. I have to be motivated to wake up in the morning and do this. If I'm not motivated to do it, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So the final thoughts for today are to talk about the opportunities that present themselves once you've devoted yourself to the grind, right? So one of the big things I really try to push to you guys is that you need to focus on working. You need to focus on being productive. And when you focus on working and when you focus on being productive, that opportunities present themselves. A lot of you guys, you're like, I want to be a computer guy, so in order to be a computer guy, I have to get a computer computer job, and at that point I will be a computer person. I will be in technology. I will be in the professional world. And one of the things I keep trying to argue with you guys is you need to be computer people right now, right this second. You may not have a paying job, you may not be highly successful in this career, but right this second you need to be doing the work. So the work may be fixing your own parents' computer, fixing a grandparent's computer, going to a nonprofit organization, fixing their systems, installing networks, doing all this kind of stuff, even if you don't get paid, because the thing is when you are doing work, opportunities present themselves, and they're opportunities that you may not have even thought about. You know, a lot of times you guys, you have this idea of what you want, and so you focus on that, but in reality, the world may be willing to give you different things. So this personally came up for me last week, where I actually got invited to go down to Cancun with my wife, all expenses paid, basically to do two 50-minute talks. Unfortunately, I had to turn it down. Sadly, I had to turn it down because of the timing of it. But this is the type of opportunity that presents itself when you are doing work, when you dedicate yourself to just grinding away and putting out products. So for me, you know, I do these videos a couple times a week. I keep pushing them out. And what you'll notice is because I keep putting out these videos and I become more and more popular as I do these videos, I start getting more and more different weird opportunities. The opportunity to go to Spiceworks for a week to interview their people and get paid a pretty substantial amount of money in order to do that. The opportunity to go to Cisco Live with Plixer and be their booth babe for 3 days. The opportunity to go to Cancun and basically for 2 hours worth of speaking, get me and my wife, you know, a vacation, all-inclusive vacation. Twitter has approached me for doing 2 days worth of work and getting paid a stupid amount of money. And what I want you to understand about all these opportunities is I would have never thought of these opportunities. I would have never imagined these opportunities. I would have never even thought about asking for these opportunities. But because I go out there and I push out the product, I keep doing this day in and day out, these things present themselves, right? So if you look at the whole history of Eli the Computer Guy, that's how this whole process has become profitable. I had the idea of creating these video classes, these video training, and I thought that I could make money off of it. And originally I failed miserably until, you know, I put out all these videos, and then YouTube came to me to be able to put the videos online. And then YouTube came to me to say I could monetize the videos. And then after I've been monetizing the videos and was making a decent amount of money, then Spiceworks came to me and said, hey, we want to sponsor you. And then Total Sim, and then Veeam, and then all these other companies. And then after that, you know, started getting invited around and all that stuff. All of that comes from actually being productive. All of that comes from actually pushing stuff out in the world, having people see what I'm doing, what you're doing, and then they will make you offers. So that's a very important thing for you guys to understand. I know a lot of you guys, you want to go out there and get training and certifications, and you want to sit on your thumbs until you get a job. You know, I will be a great employee once somebody hires me. But I'm going to tell you, in the real technology world, and I said the real world in general, you will be hired, you will be paid, you will be compensated, you will get ahead for what you are doing and what you have done. Right? So the quicker you get to that, the more successful it'll be. And yeah, it is kind of sad. It's sad to be offered like an entire week in Cancun, all expenses and paid for my wife, and have to turn it down. But oh well, that will be for another final thought.